Hey, this Run TMC right here. Me, Mullin, Mitch.
34 seconds here. The three by. Oh, he hit about a 30-footer.
You know, Mullin is one of these guys that, you know, they say he's not fast, but he really got down the court pretty quick.
Bucket kick it out for Richmond. A three-point goal. Oh, man. He drained it.
We based our game around Mitch because he could post up. If you didn't double him, he would score, draw fouls.
We had an unfinished basement, and I used to go downstairs and dribble in the unfinished basement for about an hour, hour and a half.
The most iconic picture of all, right here, man.
Yes, yes.
That was sick.
That was sick.
They just keep coming at you. They run the ball, they execute the fast breaks to perfection.
Tim, got some nice old photos here, man. Let's check them out. Well, this is where it started, right there.
Right.
Myself and Mitch. And then this guy came. Right there. The dynamic point guard we needed, Mitch. The most iconic picture of all, right here, man.
Yes, yes.
That was sick.
That was sick. We had to make sure about our sweaters, though.
And then, hold on, then this one here. This one we first started together, and that's where we ended up, man, in Springfield. That's sick, man. Well, Mitch and Tim, it's cool looking at these still photos and bring back some memories. Let's go look at some footage, man. Let's go look at some video and break that down.
Oh, yeah.
See what kind of memories that brings.
Oh, it's going to be a lot of memories.
Let's go to the theater, man.
All right.
In a time frame defined by flash, flair, and amusement, the Warriors introduced a similar style to the NBA during the 1991 season. The Warriors trio, widely known as Run TMC, led the league in scoring, and for the first time since all three were inducted into the Basketball Hall of Fame, they sat down with former teammate Tom Tolbert, and that's me, to reflect on the revolutionary mark they left on the game.
I don't know if it was my first year or second year there when we won 14 straight at home.
Yeah.
And it was a hot ticket. People wanted to get there and watch the games. Not only were we winning at home, but we were playing a fun style of basketball.
Yeah.
We were fun because we scored a lot. We were fun because we gave up a lot. I mean, literally, it was like first one to 120 wins the game.
Right.
That was the way we played.
Mullin inbounds, Rod Higgins. They get it to Hardaway. He takes it in strong and scores the basket.
Higgins to Hardaway. Richmond's out. Warriors have the numbers, and they'll get a jam.
There was some nights when Nelly did just that, as opposed to putting the scouting report up on the board.
Yep.
Write 120 and say, if we get that number, we're not going to lose.
They'll find Hardaway for three. Got it.
Do you ever think about that? Like what we would have been like if we would have like shot more threes and cashed in threes for twos?
I think if we stayed together a little longer, I think it would have developed into that, because Nelly was always ahead of the curve. You know, back in the day, you know, even though we didn't shoot a lot, if you weren't over 35, 36%, you weren't allowed to shoot them in the game. So you would split the court, and you could see who was able to shoot the threes in the game. But I do think that would have been a key factor, really, because not only making them, but when you come into every game knowing the opponent's shooting 25 to 33s, that automatically is stretching that defense out, like you said. So all of a sudden, just on arrival, you got the opponent's bigs out away from the paint. We had to work on that because we shot a lot of twos and we drove a lot. But for those 2 seasons together, it was so much fun. And when I look back, it was really the most fun I ever had playing. So it was a special time for me in my life.
Spearheading the shooting aspect of the legendary trio was Chris Mullin, a left-handed marksman whose game developed on Brooklyn Blacktops before bringing his game to the NBA.
From the Golden State Warriors, Chris Mullin!
So Mitch, Timmy, tell me what it was like to play with Chris. What was he like as a player? Some of the stuff that you guys had working together, and just what it was like being out there with him.
Yeah, for me, I think it, really propelled my game because definitely when I came, You know, Mullin, one of these guys that, you know, they say he's not fast, but he really got down the court pretty quick. When it was on
he
the
started at half court. Kidding me?
But you really, truly, like, you know, you had to be in shape. You had to be ready to play. You had to not get tired because you want to be able to run with him. You want to be able to move like he did. So it kind of taught everyone to just not stand and watch the ball. And we had that motion where, you know, you got to continue to keep moving. And I think he helped us all by just learning how to just be in a certain type of shape. Not just necessarily shooting the ball, but necessarily just taking off 4 quarters. And how we ran for 4 quarters. And you had to be in tip-top shape, and you had to be ready to go, and you had to be ready to move and share the ball.
What about you, Timmy?
I used to watch Mullin when I was in college, high school, playing in the Big East tournament, Big East games of the week and everything. I was like, man, it must be fun playing with a guy like that can shoot the ball, that knows how to play slow, very slow. And you get, I mean, when he out there, he's slow and he just moving in a way where he just getting his shots off. He made it easy, I think, for all of us on the court when he was out there playing, because he knew how to set up his man. If he didn't set up his man, he knew how to set up other people to help our offense out. And a lot of people don't understand, Mullin had great hands on defense. Great hands. He used to steal a ball. He used to get some blocks. He used to smack it out of people's hands. He used to anticipate very, very well. He just understood how to play the game at his height and what he needed to do to be effective each and every game.
Good ball movement by the Warriors, and that's Chris Mullin once again.
What were you looking for when you were driving? Because, I mean, I go in, you get it smacked to half court. You just had that way of getting it to the rim. What were you looking for in the defense?
When you're slow all your life, it's really not adapting. That's how we played all the time. And when you get inside, it was as much getting the shot off without getting blocked and then finding those angles. I think guys nowadays, they work on those, they call it the floater game, but that was really a bailout shot of if you couldn't get off, you know, a nice unbalanced jump shot or a traditional layup, then you kind of like manipulated the shooting over the big, using high off the glass with some touch and some spin. Playing against better athletes my whole life, kind of over time just figured a way to get the ball up at the rim.
Yeah, I think one of the things that stands out to me the most about Chris is, one, he always got to where he wanted to go. Like, you knew how to get to where you want to go. It doesn't matter how fast you're getting there, but if he wanted to get somewhere to get off a shot and he knew he'd get off that shot, he could definitely do that more times than not. Yeah, that's definitely a sign of a great player.
Probably the best person in shape in the whole NBA. After practice, go in there, get on the Stairmaster.
Chris, I want you to speak about how dedicated you were to being in shape all the time. Because I think that was a huge part of your success that maybe gets overlooked a little bit. Dave, how much did that contribute to your overall success, just being in the best shape you could be in?
Yeah, it was a huge factor, but I wasn't always. You know, before you guys got here, you know, I had my struggles off the court, you know, and dedicate myself to fitness and conditioning, but also unlocked my my love and passion for the game again. I had kind of lost it a little bit. So once I came back and Nelly came in and that style of play demanded the ultimate fitness level. And then, you know, having you, Tommy, and Mitch and Tim as teammates, I was always a person that relied on my teammates. I was always taught there was a 5-man game, and whether it be offense or defense. Offensively, you incorporate your teammates, you use the screens, everything's about angles and you know, where you catch the ball and all those things depending on your teammates. So I always had a you know, great appreciation and always relied on my teammates tremendously. So that was natural for me. But then to come here and to get, you know, teamed up with Mitch and Tim was a dream come true. Our talents complement each other on the court. Our personalities were good fits. We're all very different people, but it meshed, different leadership styles, and it all came together.
All right, let's get into little Timmy Hardaway highlights here.
When it came to the flair of Run TMC, no one brought it better than the innovator of the UTEP two-step himself, Tim Hardaway.
5'10", $170, whatever, and the bravado of this guy was just absolutely incredible. That's something you're born with, you grow up with, and he had it. Where did you get that from, Tim?
Growing up in the streets of Chicago, people always downed me. I always had to prove a point each and every day. Had to come out and play hard, show them that I belong. Had to give more than what other people gave, because I was so short. Everybody was taller than me. So I had to not only have the confidence to go out there and play, I had to do it and talk it and show it each and every day. Never let nobody take your confidence away, and just go out there and play and give your team confidence each and every day. That's what I did. You know, somebody talking smack to my team, I took it personal.
He's the only one on our team that talks smack. He gave us our street cred, like our smack talking street cred. It was great though, because he felt like, okay, I got somebody saying what I wanted to say, but I'm not good enough to get him, Timmy. Go get him. And he did not mind doing it. I gotta ask you this. Your crossover is the real killer crossover.
Everybody's running.
Tim Hardaway, the killer crossover.
You know, a lot of people will say Allen Iverson. I mean, it wasn't the same. Yours was like a true dribble. When people make those comparisons between you and Iverson, or you and people of that era, what do you tell them?
Well, I tell them, first of all, they don't know what they're talking about. That's the first thing. Second thing, I tell them, if you just look at it and study it, my crossover was better because I got people leaning, I got people off which way they wanted to go, and I switched it on them.
Hardaway backs off on time. What a move! Oh, did he explode, and it goes! That was brilliant!
I mean, you're leaning forward, and you know once I got you, I'm by you, and that creates all kinds of possibilities. Where'd you learn that move?
When I was in Chicago during the winter months, we had an unfinished basement, and I used to go downstairs and dribble in the unfinished basement for about an hour, hour and a half, because there was nothing else to do. We had 3 channels, you know. If it wasn't nothing good on TV at that particular time, I just go downstairs and just dribble. And I had 2 beams that was like about 5 feet away from each other, and I just used to go down there and just work on dribbling, passing off the wall, fake like I'm going up for a layup, come back down, dribble, in and out moves, behind the back, spin moves. That's what, you know, dribbling got so comfortable for me, where I go out there and I could just dribble the basketball, and I'm not worried about what the defense is going to do, what they're trying to do.
I can't even imagine how terrifying it was, right, to guard him. Left, right, should I guess, should I not, should I back up? But the thing is, you can't back up because he just keeps eating up the ground. I mean, give me your thoughts on playing with this guy, because again, it was pretty amazing watching him come in as a rookie and just kind of assert control.
Just like Mitch, day one, he was a veteran. Amazing, that in itself. Unwavering confidence, for good reason, because he worked his tail off. The things that Tim was able to do only come with hard work, repetition, you know, individual skill work, and then competing at the highest level. Back in Chicago as a young kid, playing against Isaiah and Mo Cheeks and all these guys as a high school player, proving himself each and every day. You know, the passion for the game. Just love the game of basketball. Love to play pickup, love to compete. And then you talk about his skill. You talk about his crossover, the original crossover.
The killer crossover. Oh, brother. Hardaway leaving Stockton in the dust.
Slices and dices. Perfection.
Like you said, Tommy, always taking up ground, going to the basket and putting the defense on their heels. And then his strength. You know, when he got by you with his shoulders and his lower body strength, you could not recover. He threw the ball ahead as good as any point guard. So he had all the traditional point guard skills, but yet he had the shooting guard scoring mentality, and he had deep range. He could make a 3-point shot, so he was impossible to guard. At that point in time, Tim Hardaway was the most unguardable player in the league. One of my favorite teammates of all time, made my job so much easier and so much fun, but like Mitch, it did not take very long for the league to go, whoa, this is something special. This is a unique player. Some of the greatest guards of all time were playing in that era, and Tim was matched up with them head to head. offense and defense, and made a name for himself, and had just a tremendous career. I found myself watching him a lot, just amazed.
What do you remember, Mitch, about playing with him? I mean, that was the most dynamic backcourt in the league.
Higgins to Hardaway, Richmond's out. Warriors have the numbers, and they'll get a jam.
Tim was a special player, just like he said when he first came in. And when you talk about myself, inside, outside, Tim was doing all of that too. We would post him up against Muggsy Bogues and Spud Webb. And Tim like, yeah, put me in the post. Put me in the post. Oh man, it was such a joy to play with him, because you're right. Like anytime we would score somebody, you could hear Tim, yeah, you can't guard him. That's right. You know what I mean? So he was definitely our talker. I remember watching him at UTEP, and I told him when I first saw him, I was like, man, I thought you was about 6'5". How you play? I mean, you used to can hear him through the TV. You know, just talking to everybody. I'm like, man, this dude is aggressive. But I can remember we would be in the summertime, and me and Chris would get on the Stairmaster. We'd try to take turns because we ain't had but one.
Brutal.
Yeah. And Tim like, man, let's play some ball, man. Nobody want to get on them machines. We want to hoop. Don Nelson saw it, man, and we really loved it. And in practice, man, that's all we did was just practice the motion and practice playing together, moving, cutting. And Tim was actually kind of like, he really kind of completed us. We needed a guy that can get everybody the ball as well as can take his man. And Tim was that guy, because he didn't care who you were, he was going right at you.
The Golden State Warriors select Mitch Richmond of Kansas State.
The final key to complement Mullin's shooting and Hardaway's fast break skills was a slashing shooting guard and 1988-89 Rookie of the Year, Mitch Richmond.
The Rock. You were such a different dynamic to the team, because you were the hammer. You and Timmy were our biggest post-up players, but you did a little bit of everything and excelled at it all. And where does your style of play come from, you think?
Well, I think just being in Fort Lauderdale, Florida, and first started, I think my physicality came from playing football at a young age. And then once I started playing basketball, like in the 10th grade, they put me down low. And because I was physical, I could jump. Didn't really know how to play yet, but just knew that I was going to bring the toughness and the physicality. And then I think that's where it kind of evolved. I had to go to junior college to kind of learn the guard skills, and I think that's when everything kind of came together, where I had a little bit of inside and outside game.
Hardaway's going to go right to the bucket, kick it out for Richmond, a three-point goal. Oh, man! He drained it with 31.8, the best possible scenario for the Warriors there.
I'll ask you two, what was it like playing with this guy? Because I think, Chris, you said it. You guys all complimented each other perfectly. You all brought a little something to the table that the other didn't bring. But I'll start with Chris. What was it like playing with Mitch?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of amazing different characteristics of Mitch as a player. But number one that sticks out is day one. He was a vet. He came in physically ready to play in the NBA. He was Rookie of the Year his first year. Could play inside and out. Was our best defender, and then we based our game around Mitch because he could post up. If you didn't double him, he would score, draw fouls, and then as time went on, became one of the premier players in the league.
What do you remember playing with him, Timmy?
All the same things that Mullin is saying. He just, his charisma out there on the court, how confident he was. He knew what he could do, how he can do it, and knew nobody could stop him. And on the court and off the court, he was the same even keel. Just a fun guy to be around, fun guy to play with, fun guy to hang around with and hang out and stuff like that.
I'm going to miss playing with the guys and stuff, Chris and Tim. I didn't know what to say, I didn't know what to think.
Warriors have the numbers and they'll get a jam.
Looking at these highlights of Chris and Tim, now I know why I start crying when I got traded. You know what I mean? With leaving this and the exciting of how we played and how the team was kind of made up. We got along, everyone was loving to be around each other.
And we had a lot of fun, man. We looking back, we had a lot of fun playing together. a lot of these, different clips you see, we worked on these things. It's fun to work on stuff in practice and then be able to execute in the game and do it with some flair. And I think in a lot of ways, our style of play was way ahead of its time, but it would have been nice to see if we tinkered around the outside for a few more years to see what would have happened.
Throwback jersey night tonight. They wearing our jerseys.
You made a legendary mark on this organization. Why do you think there's so much love and nostalgia for what you did in the time together?
So I think part of it is, the question, what if they stayed together? So it was a, energetic, passionate 2 years, and then it ended.
All three of us got drafted here. So it's a love we have here. It's something that you really can't explain. I went to different places. All of us went to different places, but it's just something about where you got drafted.
What drew you guys to each other when you first met?
It was times that, Nelly would come in after practice or even before games, and we would be out working out. He's like, hey, we got a game tonight. Y'all got to get off the court. We would just go full court one-on-one all the time. We was just so happy to be here, so excited, but we just love to play.
You're in for a treat tonight. It's Run TMC Takeover. As we see Steph Curry entering the building in a Tim Hardaway jersey, it is my pleasure and an honor to welcome my co-hosts, Mitch Richmond and Tim Hardaway.
Well, look at that. Come on.
Thank you, Steph.
Nobody does that.
Oh, man.
Beautiful defense.
Nice deep.
Lob job. Timeout. Our final score, 132-95. I want to thank Mitch Richmond, Tim Hardaway, and Tom Tolbert for joining the Run TMC Takeover. Our pleasure. Good night.